Hare Krishna, good evening. Welcome all of you all for our weekly Thursday evening Bhagavatam class. Right now we are discussing Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj story. So let's understand the secrets of Prahlad Maharaj's Leela and what makes Prahlad Maharaj a great devotee. So I think last week Puja Mataji has already taken a very nice session on the 9 process of devotion when Hiranyakashipu had said Prahlad Maharaj to the school. And when he came back from the school for the first time, Hiranyakashipu asked him, what is the best thing you have learned in your school, in your education? What is the best thing your teachers have taught you? And that time, Prahlad Maharaj says, the most valuable thing which I have learned is, he's talking about the 9 process of devotion. And what was that? He talks about Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnuswaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, Iti Pumsa Arpita Vishnu. Please understand, each word is an atom bomb over here. Bhakti Sena Navalakshanaha, Priyate Bhagat Adaha, Tanmanye Aditam Uttamam. This is the best, topmost learning which I have got. And what is that? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnuswaranam, all the 9 process. But Iti Pumsan Arpita Vishnu. It has to be offered to Vishnu. It has to be offered to Vishnu or his expansions, his incarnations. It should not be for anyone else. So यहाँ पे एक छोटा सवाल उठता है कि माता जी ने तो ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर लिया है श्रवणम कीर्तनम के बारे में, बट आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क वन क्वेश्चन. ये सब 9 लक्षण किसके हैं? These 9 symptoms or 9 ways in which one can do devotion is for bhakti or devotion. So please explain to me what is bhakti or what is devotion. पहले ये तो जान ले कि भक्ति किसे कहते हैं, डिवोशन किसे. Yes, Sujata Mataji, can you speak? What is bhakti? What is devotion?
जब हम भगवान के बारे में सोचते रहते हैं हमेशा, और जब हम उनका कुछ कार्य नहीं कर पाते तो हमें थोड़ा व्याकुलता होती है. और
जब उसी को भक्ति कहते हैं. आप उसी को भक्ति कहते हैं क्या? Do you call that as bhakti?
तो मतलब भगवान के बारे में हमेशा सोचना, बोलना, उनके लिए उनकी सेवा करना.
No, that's not bhakti. Yes, somebody else? Yes, who would like to speak? Ashumata ji, आप तो बड़े भगत हो, बताइए भक्ति किसे कहते हैं? What is devotion? What is bhakti?
प्रभु जी, अपना मतलब मुझे भी यही पता है कि अपने मन से भगवान जी को अपने आप को पूरा सौंप देना.
Asmi, you would like to try?
वही जहाँ तक मुझे पता है, लाइक अपना जो विश्वास है भगवान में, जो बिलीव है, फेथ, लव.
That's the problem. The problem is we are confused between puja and bhakti. We are thinking doing puja and doing bhakti is the same. No, they're 2 different things. Puja is totally comes under a different category that doesn't come under bhakti. Tell me, why does one incline to do devotion? Why is one interested in doing devotion? There's a beautiful definition given. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Anya Bhilashita Shunya, Jnana Karmadi Avratam, Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam, Bhaktir Uttamam. What does this say? Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Abhilasha means expectations. All your expectations, please put it at bay. It should be 0. So first thing when you enter into devotion means devotion has to start with zero expectations. But the problem is we enter devotion with only expectations. इधर चमत्कार करो या मेरा गाड़ी बंगला शादी ये वो this and that expectation. That's not bhakti. अन्य अभिलाषित शून्यम ज्ञान कर्मादि आवृतम ज्ञान स्पेकुलेशन नॉलेज कर्मकांड ये सब से दूर अनुकूलेन कृष्ण अनुशीलनम जो कृष्ण को जो विष्णु को जो भगवान को प्यारा है वो कार्य करो डू व्हाट इज एक्सेप्टेबल टू गॉड दैट इज कॉल्ड एज भक्तिर उत्तमम दैट इज द बेस्ट भक्ति बाकी आप ठीक है आप लोग ने जो बोला है नो रिमेम्बरिंग गॉड एज एंड व्हेन यू गेट टाइम एज एंड व्हेन यू फील लाइक रिमेम्बरिंग गॉड सर्विंग हिम that's not actual bhakti. So first and foremost expectation in your service towards God has to be zero. That means what? You have to only give, not take anything. I hope you all understand what I'm trying to say. Bhakti में सिर्फ देना है लेना कुछ नहीं. And for so many years we have done the opposite. What can I get in devotion? What can I get in bhakti? Is that has been what has been fed in our mind. But that's not the true thing. You are supposed to only serve God or offer it to God. What are you going to offer to your God? It is said first to come to the higher level of devotion and to enter devotion, there are now 9 steps, Navada Bhakti. And these 9 steps are Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. All this is Iti Arpita Pumsa Vishnu. It has to be offered only to Vishnu or incarnations of Vishnu. What are the incarnations of Vishnu? How many of you all have read Brahma Samhita? I don't think hardly 1 or 2 must have studied. Okay. Mataji, whenever you get time, put those lectures on Brahma Samhita which are there on YouTube in the groups.
Okay, this group, should I put it on this group?
In this group also and other groups also, because revision has to be there.
Brahma Samhita, fine.
Brahma Samhita, I think it's there. It's there on YouTube.
I'll check it out.
Taken at detail. I've dealt it in the class, Saturday class earlier before Corona. But I think during Corona time I have recorded it. Just check it out. If not, I'll once again take that session.
Okay,
so let's not now get confused with that. So the point is, devotion means, bhakti means to give, not to take. So, how do you progress in this? इसमें आप कैसे आगे बढ़ो? So the first step is Shravanam. Now what is Shravanam? Already learned it from Puja Mataji. Someone give an answer. What is Shravanam? Don't tell me Sunna. Okay, I know Sunna. Okay, fine, but what? क्या सुनना? कैसे सुनना? Yes.
भगवान की मतलब कथा सुनना.
भगवान की कथा सुनना. Okay, very good. और कुछ? बस इसी को श्रवणम कहा गया है या और कुछ भी है श्रवणम? Yes, speak, Rita Mataji, बोलिए. What is this? All were there last session, right? So what did you learn about Shravanam? Apekshit, tell me, what is Shravanam you learned about?
भगवान के बारे में सुनना और सत्संग.
Why? Why should you listen about God? Why can't we listen about Bill Gates? Why can't we listen about some scientist, Edison,
बिकॉज
Not the
ये सब
beliefs.
तो मटेरियल चीजें, मटेरियल नॉलेज हो गया ना, पर इससे ऊपर
So
जो
what's wrong? Material knowledge नहीं चाहिए क्या? After all, you're living in the material world, right? Material work only is feeding you, right?
हाँ,
Then what is the purpose of Shravanam?
मेंटल यानी सोल के लिए जो अच्छा है वो ये है।
Prabhu ji, can I try?
Yes. Why is your video off? Are you doing some makeup?
No, Prabhu ji. Prabhu ji, I think
Put on your video
Shravanam is
first.
important because,
Put on your video first.
okay, Prabhu ji. Prabhu ji, I think Shravanam is important because to know the purpose of life according to God.
Okay. You all have you gone abroad to Switzerland or any other place, Divanshu?
Not yet, Prabhu ji.
Not yet. But you have information about it, how beautiful it is.
I've
You've
seen
seen
in
some,
pictures and
you've seen
videos,
some
Prabhu ji.
pictures, you've seen some pictures, videos, and heard about it.
Yes, Prabhu ji.
Very good. So, what does this mean? How did you get this information about Switzerland, US, Europe?
Just by looking at
Just by
videos and
listening.
pictures.
Just by listening and
Yeah.
seeing. So, Shravanam doesn't
Seeing,
mean
yeah.
only listening, it also means seeing. It's a dual action, audio visual together. So, Shravanam means listening and seeing what? The activities of God. The greatness of God, the greatness of the spiritual world. If we don't listen, like for example, if we had no media, no news, would we know there is a place called Switzerland, there's a place called US, there's a place called UK, there were other nice, beautiful play parks and this and that, beaches in the Hawaii. Why are we attracted? Why we want to go to Bali? Why we want to go to Seychelles? Why? Because we have seen those visuals, we have heard about it from people. So, similarly, how can one get knowledge about God? It is only possible by listening about God and a spiritual world. You have developed, I mean, people in general have developed an attraction to go to US, to go to might be Seychelles or Bali or all those nice, beautiful places. Why? Because you've heard and seen. But when you hear and see, or rather, when you hear in detail about Vaikuntha Loka, about the spiritual world, about the greatness of the place, and the main personality, supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, Krishna, Rama, whatever you call it. When you listen about that personality, you develop an attraction towards it. If one doesn't listen about God or the spiritual place, he does not develop attraction to that place. So listening is the first step, or rather, if this is missing, rest 8 steps are a waste. अगर भगवान के बारे में आपने सुना नहीं तो आप भगवान को जानेंगे कैसे? How will you learn God? Right? When you are about to go to some new place, you Google it. You go to Google about that place, where it is, how it is, and what is the local habitat, what is the food available in that place, how is the weather condition, everything. You read or you listen or you see. All this comes into the category of Shravanam. Shravanam is the first step. And if you do not develop Shravanam, proper Shravanam, your further growth in spiritual life is stopped. But there is a disclaimer to this. From whom should we listen to all these things? There are so many kathakars or speakers who speak about God. I was once in Vrindavan, and was moving around here and there and enjoying the dham. So I happened to bump into one of the places where Srimad Bhagavad Katha was going. And there the speaker was talking about fight in the house between daughter-in-law and mother-in-law. And he was just talking about that how one should be, but this is all a common problem. This is how your lady has to be smart in tackling this and that. I said the entire Bhagavatam, nowhere it is mentioned. Nowhere it is mentioned. And I realized one thing, that Prabhupada is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Listen to all this from a bona fide person, from a bona fide spiritual master, from a bona fide teacher, from a person who himself is a devotee. अगर आप खुद भक्त ना हो या जो एक कोई व्यक्ति है जो अभक्त है, from him how can you get pure knowledge about God if he himself is not having that flair for God? How can you get? So first and foremost, Shravanam should be from a proper source, from a proper person, a bona fide spiritual person. He should be from one of the four sampradayas. And then when you listen, you develop attraction. What do you develop attraction for? What? About that person, about going to that spiritual planet or the spiritual world. If that listening is not good, rest of the steps go waste. And after Shravanam, what happens? It's Kirtanam. Now, what is the meaning of Kirtanam? What do you understand by Kirtanam? Yes, simple word. No rocket science. Yes, Sujata Mataji, bataiye, what is Kirtanam?
भगवान का नाम जपना और भजन उनके भगवान के भजन गाना,
भगवान के भजन गाना और भगवान के नाम. So, why and how should we do this? Why should we do Kirtanam? Or why are we able to do Kirtanam? Simple. There's nothing rocket science. Suppose you get an information about the latest phone launched in the market or a latest movie which has come in the theaters. So you see the trailer, you hear about it from your friends, and then what is going in your mind? You only want to go and see the movie. You want to listen more about this movie. You want to understand more about this movie. Then what happens? Slowly, the person gets attached to it. When he's hearing about it and speaking about it, he is attached to it. Similarly, when one listens to the holy name from a bona fide spiritual person, and then when he speaks about it, he starts speaking about it. He's able to speak about it. Tell me, आप में से जो सीनियर हैं, जैसे पूजा माता जी हैं, सीनियर, वो कैसे बोल पाती हैं भगवान के बारे में कुछ कथा लीला, कैसे बोल पाती हैं? क्योंकि उन्होंने सुना है, बार बार सुना है. So she is able to speak. Whereas one who doesn't listen, जैसे आप लोग में से कई लोग होंगे, many people who must have never heard about it, heard about God or God's greatness. Can you speak? You can't. The reason is you have not heard properly. So the first secret is Shravanam. The second is once you hear it, you start doing Kirtan, chanting the Lord's name, and not only that, talking about the glories of the Lord, greatness. So when these two things happen, what process happens in your heart? Do you have any idea? Lord says in the Bhagavatam, Shrunvatam Sokatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayantastito hi abhadrani vidunoti sruhatsratam. Says, just by listening to his own katha, Lord is there in everyone's heart and the form of Paramatma, correct? सबके हृदय में परमात्मा के स्वरूप में भगवान है. So when Lord is there in your heart in the form of Paramatma, when you are speaking, not only others, even the Lord is listening. And when Lord is listening, what happens? Sunvatam, Srinvatam. Srinvatam means listening to his own katha. Srinvatam, Swakatha, uski khud ki katha. Punya Shravana Kirtana, which is very good, which is pious. At least आपको कोई बुरे कर्म नहीं लग रहे उसको. This 1 hour when you are in the class, 1.5 hours, you don't incur any sin. Everything goes very nice. Shrunvatam Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana. हृदयंतस्थितो ही अभद्राणी. हमारे हृदय में, हमारा heart, in our heart, all the misgivings, काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मद, मात्सर्य, all that is there in our heart. Vidunoti. Dhunoti means cleaning. Vidunoti means Vishishta Rupena Dhunoti. That is special cleaning happens in our heart. बोलते ना काम क्रोध लोभ सब छोड़ दो. How can you leave it? That is already there in everyone's heart. It is only possible when one chants the holy name and listens about what does Tulsidas ji say in Ramcharitmanas. He says, Binu satsang vivek na hoi, Ram kripa sulabh na. Two things, huh? You have to understand that two things. One is Binu satsang vivek na hoi. If one wants to develop proper intelligence, knowledge, he has to first, what he has to do? He has to attend satsang. But even satsang is not possible for one without the mercy of the Lord. Without Lord's mercy, sulabh hui, आसानी से नहीं मिलता satsang. You need kripa of Lord Ramchandra ji. You need the kripa of Krishna. You need the kripa of Nrsimhadev. You need the kripa of Vishnu. So with these kripa, you get satsang. And satsang, so you get the right direction, the right knowledge, how and where to. So please understand. For us, first Shravanam, then Kirtanam. With this, the biggest process happens. The heart gets clean. And once the heart gets clean of all the misgivings, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, matsarya, then a nice thing happens. What is the third thing which happens? Let me see how many of you are listening to this shloka properly. Shravanam, Kirtanam, then what?
No, Vishnu Smaran.
Vishnu Smaranam. You start. That is the time when you can remember Vishnu. Till then you cannot remember Vishnu. जब सुना ही नहीं तो करोगे क्या? सुनने के बाद उनका थोड़ा तो जपना पड़ेगा. फिर आपको दिमाग में बार बार भगवान याद आएंगे. And when you will remember God, you will not just remember God, but you will remember His Leelas. All His greatness. And after that, most important, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. Now, what is Pada Sevanam? पैर का पूजा करना. Is that Pada Sevanam or something more, something higher? Yes, Abhishek, what do you think? What is Pada Sevanam?
विग्रह की सेवा.
Huh?
थिंक घर के विग्रह या जो भी विग्रह है उनकी सेवा करना.
Pada Sevanam means start going to the various dham. You start going to the various dham. Like we go to Dwarka, we go to Vrindavan, we go to Puri, we go to a number of places. That is where the life takes a turn. So, third step, first you have to listen about God. Third, you have to start singing His glories and chanting His name. And Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. You start getting the remembrance of Lord. But ye teen aayenge, then only you get qualified for the fourth step, Father Seva, which is, Srila Prabhupada says very nicely, you should go to various dhams. वहां पे जाके गंगा, यमुना, गोदावरी, इन नदियों में हमको डुबकी लेना चाहिए. We have to take our or holy bath. People go and take bath in Ganges. Himanshu, do you think if one does some sin and then goes to him, Ganges and takes bath, he will be cleaned?
No, Prabhuji.
No. Then what does he use?
Because, Prabhuji, as you told now, there are steps. So one should go with one step to another, then I think there is chances.
No.
Like,
If one goes to a dham, when he goes to take a bath in Ganges, he is cleansed of his sins, provided when he comes out of the, after taking the bath, he should take a vow. I will never sin again. I will not do that sin again. People do various kinds of sin, right? Meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, gambling. These are very famous or very common type of sins. Okay, one has performed the sin, but when he realizes, oh, after Shravanam, oh, what I have done is wrong. Now I have to chant the holy name of the Lord and I should not do this nonsense. So, but the sin is already there. So for such people, this provision is there. You go, take your bath in Ganges with a promise that I will not sin again. Then he is cleansed of his. So, ये चार चीज.
yes, Prabhuji.
इसके बाद starts Archanam. Now, what is Archanam? Archanam, first and foremost, has to be done under the guidance of a spiritual master. It should not be done whimsically. In fact, everything has to be done under spiritual master. But Shravanam and Kirtanam सुनने के बाद ही आप spiritual master के करीब जाओगे. You'll go near a spiritual master. But more than that is, one has to, when it comes to the stage of Archanam, Vandanam, they at that stage, person is supposed to take the process given by the acharyas or by Guru. It is said very nicely. Maharaj Parikshit, for each stage, if you perfect yourself in any one of the 9 steps, you can go back to Godhead. You can go back to Godhead simply by perfection in any one of the 7 stages, in the 9 stages. Parikshit Maharaj attained salvation simply by hearing from Shukdev Goswami. Sirf, what did Shukdev Goswami do when Parikshit Maharaj was about to be bitten by a snake? He got a shrap, a curse, that in 7 days he is going to be bitten by a snake. That time, what did he do? He did not do anything. He did not go to the temple, fall down to the feet of Lord and all that. He was just praying on the banks of river Ganga. And that time, Sukdev Goswami came there. And all the other Vaishnavas also came over there. And they were glorifying the Lord. So just by listening, Shukdev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj attained salvation or liberation, whatever you call it. Then, what about Prahlad Maharaj? Just by remembering Lord. आगे हम लोग देखेंगे, we'll see in the future, I mean in the later part of this lectures, where how Prahlad Maharaj remembers God at all times when he is put in the well of snakes, when he is thrown from the mountain, when he is put in fire. At all times he just remembers God and he is saved. And finally God comes out from the pillar and saves Prahlad Maharaj. So that is also a type of liberation. And he achieved it just by remembering. So first was Shravanam, second was Kirtanam. Then, goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, attained perfection by worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. So, प्रहलाद महाराज हमेशा क्या कर रहे थे? भगवान का नाम ले रहे थे. भगवान का नाम लेने से, कीर्तनम करने से प्रहलाद महाराज फ्री हो गए. Then Lakshmi Devi attained perfection just by worshipping the lotus feet, Pada Sevanam. Prithu Maharaj attained salvation by worshipping the deity of Lord. So what does this mean? So if we go as per the sequence, you will get everything perfectly. Akrur Maharaj attained salvation by offering prayers. Hanumanji rendered service. Dasya bhav mein the. He also got liberation. Arjuna established friendship with God. And then there is Sakyam. And finally, Bali Maharaj offered everything to his service to the Lord. And that's why he said, Atma Nivedanam. So, one becomes eligible to go back to Godhead simply by following any one of the processes. So, what to say of someone who follows all the 9 steps of the So, it is said one must follow this sequence as given by Prahlad. So, Archanam, Vandanam, one should do nice Archanam. Here, this comes under Pancharatrika Vidhi. We all over India, you will see, we are following only Pancharatrika Vidhi. Except for Jagannath Puri. वहां पे विधि कुछ और ही चल. But everywhere in India, Ramanacharya said, he promised his spiritual master that I will introduce Pancharatrika Vidhi all over India. And that is what he has introduced. Even in our temple, we follow Pancharatrika. But after following Pancharatrika Vidhi, in those people who don't have devotees, what will they do? They won't have deities in their house. What will they do? Simply by chanting the holy name, they can get the purification. It's not a problem. So, Archan, Vandanam, Dasyam. Once, Vandanam, always one has to pay obeisances to God. Jahan bhi dekhe, God, Acharya, Guru, Vaishnava. All these people have to be given, as one has to pay obeisances to them. And finally, when it comes to Dasyam, what does Dasyam actually do, indicate? One, we all are, who are we all? We all are spirit soul. Hum Atma hai, right? So what is the job of the soul? As spirit soul, what are we? We are Krishnere Nitya Das. We are all servants of God. And when we are servants of God, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to serve. And serving God means what? The way a servant serves his master, we have to serve. There is a slight difference. Please understand between Dasyam and Sakyam. I'll explain that it's very important. One has to learn this. When one is serving God, initially he starts serving like a servant. What does this mean, servant? Can anyone explain? एक नौकर की तरह सेवा करना. What does this mean? How will you serve God as a servant? Come on, so many people are there. I want someone to answer this question.
Prabhuji, to serve God without any expectation and do exactly what we are supposed to do according to the Lord.
No, close but not correct. Someone else?
You
Yes,
to follow.
Leza Mataji, how will you do? How will you serve God? Yeah, someone else said. Who, Apekshit said or someone said?
Prabhuji, is it like we should follow the instructions of Krishna? To follow the instructions of the master, like whatever he wishes to, that we should do. a servant is supposed to do.
A servant doesn't have his free will.
Yes, he has to follow the instruction.
He has to just serve as per what the acharyas have said and what Lord wants. If a servant wants, no, I want to eat meat, I will not offer meat to God, but I will go out and eat meat. He cannot. I will do some illicit sex, but I will serve God. It's not possible. You have to offer your mind to God, not just your service. That is why dasyam is slightly inferior, or rather, when a person comes to that level that he serves with his heart and mind, then he comes to a level of sakya. He becomes more friendly, or rather, Lord makes him friendly, and he says, yes, what do you want? Now, Hanumanji is an example of dasya. Whatever Lord wanted, whatever Lord desired, he fulfilled. Without any expectation, without any personal gain or personal benefit. He was just serving God. But when it comes to Arjuna, how Arjuna became a more closer friend? Because he has started loving God to a greater extent, to that extent that he is like a friend to him, like how a friend may understand, take care of another friend. एक दोस्त से दूसरा दोस्त कैसे ख्याल रखेगा? He knows his likes, he knows his dislikes, and does accordingly and lovingly. He wants to please his friend. So that is why the second last stage is Sakhyam. And then last is Atma Nivedanam. And that is what Shishtashtakam teaches us. The last verse. What does it say? Maro bhi, rakho bhi, jo ichha tumhara. Ashtisya padanatam vinastuma. Adarsam maratam karotuva. Yatha tata vidantanto lampato. Mat pranatasu avaraha. What does it say? It says, Lord, whether you love me or you don't love me, whether you like what I do or you don't, whatever you say, I am your servant. Whether you want, you keep me. Whether you don't want, you can kick me out. But I will always be loving you and be your eternal servant. We people are conditional with God. Lord, I have always served you, but you have never reciprocated by giving me favorable things. Lifelong, I served you so nicely. In the end, you did not save my child, you did not save my business, you did not save my family, this and that. No. Lord says, just leave everything to me. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja. You have, that is surrender, finally. And that is exhibited very nicely by Bali Maharaj. When Bali Maharaj had promised, Vaman Dev was none other than Vishnu. Because Vishnu could not defeat, or rather, capture Bali Maharaj by force. Does anyone know why Bali Maharaj could not be captured by force by Vishnu? Why he had to be tricked by Vishnu by this? Puja Mataji, do you have any idea? Shraddha Mataji, you got any idea why Bali Maharaj?
No, Babuji, I forgot. Sorry.
All have to eat a lot of almonds. See, first and foremost, please understand. When all the devatas went to Vishnu, complaining about Bali, that forcefully he has occupied heaven and Devata Lok, that time, Vishnu says, first and foremost, he has the mercy of his Guru, Shukracharya. The day he goes against his Guru, that day only I can defeat him. So that is the reason why Lord plays a very nice trick. He comes to Bali Maharaj and says, give me something, I want a donation. He says, yes, yes, I will give you whatever you want. I'm doing this yagya, this big yagya I'm doing just for, and in yagya, donation is a part of it. And I've given, I'm the Lord of all the three worlds. So whatever you want to tell me, I can take it from you. That time, Lord says, no, I want only 3 foot space. He says, you're so small, you're so short. What will your 3 foot space will do? Too small.
Yes, Prabhuji,
Yes.
now I remember. You had told so many
Yes,
times.
yes.
Sorry.
Yes. So he was saying that 3 foot. 3 foot. That time, immediately Shukracharya, his guru, comes and tells, he is a true guru. Why is a true guru? What is the definition of a guru? Himanshu, can you tell me what is the definition of guru? First.
Prabhuji, to like अपने जो वो उनको सही मार्ग दिखाना.
What सही मार्ग दिखाना? ताबीज दे दूं, अच्छा धंधा करेगा, अच्छा बिजनेस करेगा, मंत्र दे दूं, लक्ष्मी की वर्षा हो जाएगी. That is what you people have want guru for, right?
No, Prabhuji.
Then what? Simple. Guru is one who shows you who is God. And Shukracharya did the same thing. He came and told Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj, Vaman Dev is none other than, that Chota Batuk Brahmana is none other than God. He did the right job of a guru. Guru's job is to tell who is God. But then what he did, he said, no, don't give him everything. Don't give him anything. If you give him little also, he will take everything from you. Then he said that. Bali Maharaj said, no. Now you are not a true guru. I leave you. I discard you. Because a true guru should teach one to offer everything to God, not take away. That time, when he does the small offense towards his spiritual master, that time, Lord is taking an upper hand and is able to convince Bali Maharaj to give 3 foot space. And finally, when Bali Maharaj gives him 3 foot space, he covers the entire world. And after that, he gives him a loka. The Sutal loka is given to him, where himself, Lord is there, given himself to him. Because when Lord asked for 3 space, first space, Lord covered the material world, the second, the spiritual world. Then say, where will I put my 3rd foot? He says, my head is still alive. I am still alive. I am the donor. And as long as the donor is alive, his body is also worth to be donated. He says, keep your 3rd foot on my head. That time he says, okay, you have won me, you have won my heart. So whatever I have gained with my foot, I am taking it. That is, Vishnu has taken back the material world and the spiritual world from him. That is the Devaloka from him, and then gave it to Indra. And then he told Bali Maharaj, I'm so happy with your devotion. Tell me, what do you want? And he says, I want you. Says, okay, I'll give you a special loka called Sutal Loka, where you will be living there, and I will be your servant, your gatekeeper. So that is why these 9 stages of bhakti is very important. And of course, Acharyas have given many do's and don'ts on it. Prabhupada gives in detail in the Bhagavatam, kya karna chahiye, kya nahi karna chahiye. In Archanam, Vandanam, as per the rules, one should not touch the deities at wrong time, wrong date, wrong place, so many things. But for us, in a big bracket, if we are able to do our Shravanam and Kirtanam very nicely, rest stages, you need not put any efforts. These stages will automatically follow. It's like once you pass first standard, you automatically go to second standard. You don't have to take a special effort. No, I have to go to second standard. No, once you clear second standard, you'll go to third standard. Every grade you will go through one by one. This is very important that we have our Shravanam and Kirtanam well in place. That is why I always request everyone, never miss any class. As much as possible, listen. More you listen, the more you learn. Many people come and tell me, oh, Prabhuji, I have heard this. I have heard this n number of times. I don't have to listen to that again and again. I know it by heart. One who develops that love and affection towards God, he loves to listen to those things again and again. A simple, everyone knows. Is there anyone who doesn't know Ramayana? Everyone knows Ramayana. But we still take great pleasure, great enjoyment in listening to the Ramayana or seeing the Ramayana again and again. The same serial people see. No, अभी आएगा, अभी रावण आएगा, अब सीता को लेके जाएगा, अब ये आएगा, जटायु आएगा, रावण उसको युद्ध करेगा, जटायु मरने वाला है, अब हनुमान जाएगा, लंका जलाएगा. Everyone knows every step of Ramayana, right? But still, when we see that, we are eager to. We know Ravan is going to kidnap Sita, but when the minute Ravan kidnaps Sita, we all shed tears. Very bad man. See, wicked man. You know he is a wicked man. And we know in the end he is going to die. But at that moment, we are engrossed. That is actual Shravan. That is actual. When you get to that level of Shravanam, then rest of the things automatically is taken care by God. Okay, with this I would like to close today's class. Anybody has got any doubts, questions?